All right, Grayson with Garvin's Plumbing here. We're at 6170 Ivanhoe. South Ivanhoe. We're pushed out 118, almost 119 feet to the city tap. Line overall seemed to be in okay condition for the age of the home. There's a mixture of concrete, clay, and cast iron. Couple of offsets. Only one gave me trouble pushing the camera out. Nothing really gave me trouble as far as drain cleaning is concerned. So as we pull back, we'll see that we have a concrete tap with no real collapses or anything like that. There were a couple cracks in a few spots in the clay that don't really look too bad. They look like they're in the bell or hub. We are no longer running water. We were running water pretty extensively, both during drain cleaning as well as after, to flush the line out. I don't know what the machine's rubbing on. So far, only a few joints have had any visible roots left. We've gotten almost all of the roots out. We did have questions wondering if maybe this line could benefit from a liner. With the offsets not being too terrible, it's a possibility. But I don't see roots growing through the concrete anywhere that isn't at a joint. A little bit of scale buildup. Very, very tiny offset along the bottom, not a big deal. Might be a small crack to the right there, or it's roots left over, but superficial if anything. None of the cracks that we have seen have had any big roots growing through, or chunks of pipe missing, or jagged edges, or anything like that. So eventually having the line replaced and outside access installed would be ideal, but from a necessity standpoint, I'm going to say that just yearly or bi-yearly maintenance and then occasionally cammering the line to make sure that no cracks have progressed is more than sufficient for maintaining the functionality of this home sewer line. The glaze on the concrete is a bit rough. We did see a couple roots that we had to assist as they were floating down. So not perfect, but not the end of the world by any means. Right here, it's 81 feet. We have a little bit of an offset where it looks like maybe they didn't use a fitting to turn, but we have a offset along the bottom as we're transitioning from concrete to clay, and this is probably where our worst little bit of roots are, right there. And then we do have some signs of grease buildup in the line. We've recommended an enzyme agent, and hopefully that'll take care of any other problems that they may have experienced. Another small offset along the bottom. Not too terrible. The camera's able to go over it pretty easily. This offset is outbound, so it is not as bad, but this is a rather large little dip there. But luckily, it's in the right spot and it's in the right direction, so it shouldn't really impede flow that much. And it did not really affect cleaning as it could have. So here at 73 feet, we've got a crack. It's mostly superficial, it looks like. It does look like it goes almost 360 around the pipe, but I don't see any major roots growing through it or anything like that. So seems like it's still structurally sound.
Under the driveway.
Yeah. It's generally it is. If there is a problem, it's got to be under concrete. just how things go most of the time. So now I'm interested to see if it is plausible to pipe burst this at all. I feel like lining wouldn't be as good for this line just because of the couple of offsets. Lining, I feel like, don't quote me on it, but I feel like lining is also less rigid. A pipe burst replaces the pipe with hard pipe. A liner is more of a flexible film or like a plastic wrapper type situation. So here at 56 feet, we have probably our second little cluster of where roots were growing through. Once again, our offset is in the correct direction and should not really impede flow, but we do have roots growing in there.
Was that at a hub?
Yeah, it was at a spot where the pipes are connected. Yeah, that's pretty much where all of everything should be. There was only those one or two small crack areas that looked like they were in the middle of a pipe. Generally 10-12 foot sticks of pipe unless they cut them. So once again, offset, but mostly okay. It's in the right direction. Same thing here, although this one's even smaller. That one's not too bad. So just kind of a series of graduated stair steps down. So we got a crack right here, right around 40. This should still be in the bell. It is a little bit more of a severe crack. It is an offset that's on the bottom. It looks like it goes both left and right, and probably is right at the edge of that bell. And it looks like we've got a 360 crack as well right after that. So I would say of the cracks, this appears to be the worst offender, about 40 feet out. Because if that piece of pipe there, that whole piece could lift up and make that an even worse offset and make it sharp and jagged. Right now it doesn't appear to be that way though. It just appears to be a potential that could happen. So I would still get it cleaned every couple years and get it cambered every other time unless you have a backup. And then this spot right here was the bane of my existence for a while. We randomly have a little tiny piece of concrete section, and this is our other second worst root areas. So maybe the other one was third place, but this one still has a little bit of roots, and I had a heck of a time trying to push my camera past this offset. So I'm sure that waste will get a little caught up on there. And then here at around 35 feet, we have another crack around almost 360, it looks like. About 80%. It might be connected, it's hard to tell. But once again, no large obvious roots are poking through or anything like that. So here, right at around 32 feet, we transition back to cast iron. Cast iron looks to be pretty good condition, honestly. I think that there was a small crack in the cast iron right as it exits somewhere. I don't really see it now. I believe it was reported in previous technician notes. But overall, the cast iron doesn't appear to be rotting out from the bottom. We removed a decent bit of scale successfully. The first 10 feet or so felt pretty rough, but overall I think that this sewer line, as long as it's maintained, should be functional. The joints in the cast iron look pretty good. No real offsets there. No signs of rotting through the bottom. And here pretty soon, our cast iron is going to get a little more rough. We'll see a couple tie-ins, and then we'll come out of our clean out in the basement. So that right there is a tie-in, I think, for either the downstairs lavatory or downstairs sink or the kitchen. I think that one is the kitchen. And then we should be coming out of our suite here real soon. It's been Grayson with Garvin's. Thank you.